Hello, my name's Nadia Strachan and I will be your design consultant for today. Now, you have chosen to have a design consultation for what I would consider a commercial doorway. So I'll just show you a little picture of that. So that's the commercial doorway. So you have chosen to have a design consultation based on that picture there. Now, this design consultation, unlike a lot of my other design consultations, it will be quite a succinct one. It's quite a short one. There is a lot going on there, but not so much that I need to take half an hour with this video and half an hour with the next one. So this will be a lot shorter than if you had an interior of this business. So to go straight into it, this is a new business, and one of the major things with new businesses is that you are usually pushed for space. And most people know that you are a new business, so what you try to do is to make your business look as established as possible, because that sort of endows people with that sort of reassurance that you know what you're doing. Now, just because you're a new business, it doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. Maybe you've worked in this industry, whichever your industry is, for a number of years, and you've just decided now, okay, now I'm going to go for it. Now I'm going to be a business owner. So you've branched out. So the first protocol is to get premises. So you've got your premises, and it's the first impression. And it's the same as when you're going for an interview or you're just meeting somebody for the first time. The first impression means everything to get people through the door. They may have decided by your wonderful website that they want to visit you anyway, or your advertising in various media publications, but all of that can fall apart if they come to your premises and it looks shabby, unkempt, uncared for. That will just make your client feel that you do not care. You're not going to take that care about their property or whatever business you're going to do for them if you do not take that much care about your own presentation. Now, this business is a landscaping business. These are the owners of them. They look quite swish, actually. And these two young men met in university, decided to go and work for a company, and then as a result of that, they decided to set up their own business because they noticed a niche in the market. Now, is this a true story? Well, it's a scenario, it's a possible truth of what your business could be. So this is going to be split into 4 easy steps. The first step is to make it relatable to you and your business. Obviously, I don't know exactly what your business is. All I know is that it's a new business. It's a new business. And you want to make whoever comes to your premises feel that they will be taken care of, that you know what you're doing, and that you are confident. And so if you come across as confident and established as possible, then they will feel relaxed and confident with you, and the whole process will go so much more easily. So the first protocol. So I've given you a lifestyle scenario. It may not be yours, or it may be a scenario that may give you ideas for your business, but that's a lifestyle scenario. So that's the first protocol, just to put the whole thing in context. Then, obviously, to give you imagery, as I say, these two chaps, they met at university. This is what they can afford. It is probably just popped on to the end of a building. Maybe it used to be the conservatory of a building or an annex, or maybe it's a basement. That's what most people get, a basement room or an attic room, or, you know, a reformed large closet space, but it's a refurbished space. And so all they have is just this door. That's all they have. And what you don't want to do is to go in there and be all gaudy and, you know, have huge signage that obscures it and all advertising boards outside. As you can notice, there's nothing like that going on there. Nothing at all. It's very sleek, and it just oozes confidence that we know what we're doing. All it has on the front is just their logo, KB. KB, and KB is the initials for the two for this company. It's called KB Landscaping, and the K stands for Kent and the B Buchanan. They're the surnames of these two young men who have started this business. So KB Designs. So that's what that is. So you've looked at this and you thought, yes, I can do that. It doesn't look like it costs a lot of money. You're right. It will not cost a lot of money. That's why this is part of the bronze scheme. Doesn't look like it costs a lot of money, but it does look like it's established. And that's what's wonderful. And what I really love about this, can you see all this around there, all this foliage? This can change seasonally if it's real foliage. Usually it will be for this business, because they're landscaping, the foliage is real. For you, maybe you're too busy and you don't have time to maintain this, or the cost of this, you can get artificial. But I'd say buy very high quality artificial foliage to go around to soften your entrance and to make it more warm and inviting. So you can use artificial. That works just as well, because there's so many companies that do a really good job of producing really high quality artificial foliage that you can implement around here. And also the pots as well, if you're going for the artificial foliage around there, even though they're evergreens, I would say keep it consistent and make them artificial as well. Either go completely real foliage all the way around and real foliage in the pots, or go completely artificial and just keep it consistent. Because if to try and play one off against the other, it won't really sit that well. So I'd say go one or the other for that. And when we look at the price ways in the next video, you'll be able to see there is two alternatives that I've given you, which are the real and also the artificial. So you can see, you can sort of compare the prices between the two. Okay, so that's a major thing. So it's just for you to realize. Now, in the next video, I will be talking about all the suppliers, where you go to, how to get it. But the main thing you need to realize with this is all about being established. Being established. You are a new business. Being dependable, reliable. And that, something as simple as that. You may want to think, oh, I need to stand out from the crowd and be really unique and dynamic. That will make people just think, yeah, I don't know if they're for me. You know, people are more inclined, if they're into something unique and dynamic, to go to somewhere like this and ask them, can you do something unique and dynamic? But if you come across as extremely unique and dynamic on the outside, then you will scare away 80% of your clients. 80% will be scared away, because that 80% is just, you know, the general populace. They're the ones who will come to you more than anything else. There will be a percentage who will be looking for something a bit different, but they will still come to you and ask you if you can produce that. And on your website, you have the opportunity to show them that you can do something a little bit different, a little bit unique. But I would say for a new startup, show that you can do what the majority of people expect you to do as a new business. And that's what you need to reflect, that you can do that as a new business. Now, it's not flash and it's not, you know, out there, but it does look respectable and established. Now, here's a trick with something like this. Whether you go for at this point, it doesn't matter if it's real foliage or if it's artificial, except if your business is to do with anything to do with organic or real or that sort of thing, then you need to keep along that line. So if your new business is to do with everything natural and organic and foods, then you're going to have to go the real route. Do not go the artificial route if your business is to do with health and well-being and nature and anything organic, anything like that, food stuff like that. You need to keep this real, and I'm sorry, you're just going to have to find a way to maintain it. But that's what you need to do if you're going to go that route, if that's your business. If your business is something to do like accountancy or even if you're a designer, you can go with the artificial because there's lots of different things you can do with that. So you need to think about how you would be perceived, and what message you're sending for your new business, because this doorway could say a lot. Now, the fact that I've got this beautiful black this black sort of satin door, and on there I've got their initials. Now their initials are in that's probably the most expensive thing, this logo. It's in the best quality that they can possibly afford. So most of the money will go on that logo, the best quality logo, and a really nice light fitting, a good light fitting. So it's really well illuminated during dark winter nights or at night time. It's well illuminated, and that logo is always visible, always visible. So that's really quite important, that you spend money on a good quality door. Doesn't have to be the most expensive. A good quality door, well painted, but the actual hardware, the door handle, the logo, the light fitting, they need to be of very, very good quality, the best quality you can possibly do. So that's something that I would say to you. It's very important. I mean, the next video just deals with where you get those items from, but this is very important for you to understand as a new business, what it takes to reproduce this. Now, as I said, I've got this foliage here, and I've got this beautiful door. Now, this little punch of colour. Now, that colour needs to be reflective of your business. That's where you can inject your business colour. Every business has a colour in their logo. In theirs, on their website, this colour appears again on the website. So it's good to tie them together so that you have a branding. This is their branding. That colourway is KB branding. Okay, that's their branding, and you need to keep it. Somehow you need to inject that. So they've got this beautiful architectural detailing around the door, and they've injected their company colour in that space. And also it gives that professional sort of continuity. Now, they could have done those colours in the pot. That's something that they absolutely could have done. And that still would have been okay. They could have done blue pots, but as you remember, they're a landscaping company. And so the landscaping company is all about natural and growing things, and so that's why they've kept their terracotta earthen pots, so kept it in the natural state, because this is a natural company and they deal with natural and nature and natural elements. That's why they didn't paint the pots these blue colours. But if yours is not so much that, then I say yes, you can paint yours these blue colours, and that would work beautifully in your for your business. And so you can definitely do that. I would say keep the foliage as simple as possible. If this is natural, this is going to change. And when it's autumn, you'll have lovely reds and yellows mixed in, and so that becomes very seasonal. And that's another way for this landscaping company to be able to advertise how beautiful they can make your garden look all year round. So that's why I would say that this a natural element, it works in your favour. You know, obviously, you know, when it's Christmas, you know, they can interweave lights on, you know, for that sort of Christmas sort of decorative element. And obviously they've got some little evergreen bushes there, and they'll probably, you know, utilize those, but obviously they will keep the lights in one color, so usually just in a white or just a blue, or just a single color rather than multicolors. You know, one color is what you need, because as well that speaks to your experience and established and being really quite dependable and serious about your business as well. So I would say with something like that, that's what you need to do. So I've spoken a lot about this picture. I mean, what it actually means and how you can actually utilize it for yourself, depending on what type of business you have. Okay, and so this to me would be I would feel very secure and very welcomed, and very, you know, going into this premises and to be able to do business with these two people, because that does say that they're serious and they're going to take care of me. So that's what I'd say about that. As I say, in section 2, that sort of says a little bit about, you know, gives you an idea of, you know, how this space came about, really, and what it means and what the business means. And so that's what that is telling you. That's an analysis of the photo. Obviously not as detailed as I've just been talking to you about now, but it just gives you a little brief analysis of the photograph, and so that you have an idea of how you can use this within your space or your exterior space to present yourself to have that ideal curb appeal. Okay, so that is the first part of the video. What I would say, the video will, this consultation will be split into 3 sections. There is the DIY, where you do everything yourself. So you can produce this all yourself, from even going to a DIY place, finding the door, and, you know, fitting it yourself, and painting it yourself, and in them, you know, absolutely everything yourself. Or you can do part DIY, part trade, whereby somebody else fits the door for you. And if you're not that good at painting, I'd say get somebody to paint that for you. It won't cost you an awful lot just to get that little bit painted for you. And also, if you want to get the foliage maintained, I'd say if you want to do a full trade, whereby you get somebody to implement this for you, and also to come along maybe once a month and to actually keep it groomed, because you have to keep this groomed. You don't want this to be overgrown and attacking people as they're walking into your premises. That really wouldn't do. So I would say the full DIY is where you actually get somebody else to come in to maintain it. They've already painted it, implemented it, the whole thing themselves, and so you get, and that's full trade. So there's a price for full trade, a price for part and part, where you do some and trade does the bits that you can't do, and maybe you maintain this yourself. Or full DIY, where you implement everything yourself and you maintain everything yourself as well. So there's the 3 price ways that you can go for, but I would call this a bronze scheme because it won't be terribly expensive. It can be incredibly cheap, even probably less than I've actually stipulated in the cost of a bronze scheme. You probably can get this for a lot less than that. But I would say to you to go to actually look at this and see if this is what will work for you. This is, as I say, it's an exterior design, sorry, not interior, exterior design for a new business. I look forward to telling you about how you actually put this together. It shouldn't take you that long at all, but it's more about just preparation. Once it's prepared, you can put it together very quickly and just get on with the business of being a busy new business owner. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me in the first half of this, and thank you for choosing to have a Nadia Holmes consultation. This is the first 2 steps of it. There's just 2 more easy steps to follow, and then you'll be able to change your story and in turn change your life. Thank you for joining me. I'll talk to you again in the next video. Thank you.